Hello there guys, welcome back to another video. Today I am in Kowloon Park in TST in Hong Kong, and the reason being is I want to do a bit of a different video to what I'd normally do here in the city, and that is I want to show you around where I live in Hong Kong and also some of the things you can find there when traveling or living in the area. Now I know it's a bit different, but I want to give you guys some information about what you might expect if you were to travel to Hong Kong or even come and live here yourself. Now let's go and have a look at what Jordan's like in Hong Kong and see some of the things that I do on a daily basis here in the city. We've just arrived in Jordan from the park just behind us, and the first thing I wanted to start off by talking about was really where can you choose to live while coming to Hong Kong, and why Jordan might potentially be a place for you to come and have a look at if you are considering to make that move to the city. Now there's some main places in Hong Kong to look at when considering where to live. Now if you're on a smaller budget, Sham Shai Po and Jordan are definitely two places to go and have a look at, just because they're very cheap compared to some of the other places in the city. Now the reason being is because they're very local areas, and obviously if you want to get into the local culture, that is such a big positive as well. But they're very local areas. The buildings are a little bit older than say over on Hong Kong Island, and as well you're more likely to have to walk up steps to get to your apartment. Now those are the main reasons why it's so cheap in these areas, but at the end of the day, if you're looking for an authentic place to live in Hong Kong, then Sham Shai Po and Jordan are definitely two really good options. Now if you've got a little bit more money to spend per month, maybe you've got a better job, then some other options are Prince Edward, Mong Kok, and of course across on Hong Kong Island you've got Sheung Wan and Wan Chai. Now these places are a little bit more expensive and you're looking at more modern buildings, and of course you will probably have an elevator and possibly a security guard on the door in your building. Now other than that, you've got the really super expensive places to live in Hong Kong, and those, you know, include Central, TST, and generally a lot of Hong Kong Island. I mean, if you're looking for more cheaper places to live, you'll find that more on the Kowloon side than you will over on Hong Kong Island. But yeah, those are some of the places to live, and I mean, the reason why I picked Jordan when I first got here was because of that kind of cheaper housing prices, and as well it's quite a very vibrant community focused area. Now we talked about where geographically is good to live in Hong Kong, but the thing that's probably really important to consider as well is what kind of accommodation are you going to be living in. Now the main two for people on a budget is going to be either a flat share, which is where you share with a few people and you have a communal eating area and communal living area, or the second option is what is known as subdivided units here in Hong Kong. Essentially a subdivided unit is when a normal flat is cut up into segments, and each of those segments is its own studio apartment. Now that's what I live in here in the city, and though sometimes you can hear quite a lot through the walls and it can be quite noisy, it's also a good option if you want your own space and you don't want to have to share with other people that you don't know. Now they're the kind of budget options. Of course, if you've got a bit more money, you can get your own flat. But I will say that one thing about Hong Kong that makes it so expensive is that space is very limited here. And I'll tell you now, coming from England, where everybody has houses, back gardens, it's very different in Hong Kong. I mean, you can see you're going to be living in buildings such as these, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, there's something really nice about it because you can literally get to places so quickly and everything's very convenient. But the downside is that, yeah, there's not a lot of space while living here. Now personally, what I would recommend to do is getting a subdivided unit. I mean, I can tell you now, every single place you will stay will have its benefits and its negatives. So the thing that you need to do when looking to move here is to kind of check out and write down a list of what you definitely can't live without and what you're a little bit more flexible on, because especially if you're on a budget, there's gonna be concessions that you need to make when looking for an apartment. But anyway, those are kind of the options that are available for where you can live and what you can live in. And I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I mean, you can find places in Hong Kong for around about 450 through to 800 pounds a month. And that's kind of a scale of, you know, the lower end price to the mid-range price. Of course, if you're looking for a full flat, you're going more into the £1,000 a month to £1,200 a month and then on. But if you're looking for those budget options, if you're on a budget coming to Hong Kong like I was, or I am anyway, then yeah, these subdivided options and these places like Jordan are definitely more suitable for what you're looking for. But hey, like I say, don't worry. I mean, at the end of the day, it took me about a week to find a place in Hong Kong. There's always apartments coming up for rent here in the city, so you'll definitely find somewhere to stay. Anyway, now we've spoke a little bit about where to live in Hong Kong and what to live in Hong Kong. Let's go into a bit more about what the food is like here in the city. I mean, now, I know a lot of people coming to Hong Kong are very used to cooking at home or even having a kitchen to cook in, which kind of feels very standard when, you know, thinking about your day-to-day living style. But let me tell you, a kitchen is not always going to be handy or even fully equipped when you look at some of the places to live. I mean, even me, I don't have a kitchen at all. All I had was a hot plate, a toaster oven and a kettle. So let me tell you, you need to have a look at where to eat in the city and what kind of things are available. But I mean, you're in luck. At the end of the day, Hong Kong has got some of the nicest food in the world and also some of the cheapest places to eat as well. Now, let me break it to you now, there isn't a Greggs, okay? If you're looking to come out here, find yourself a Greggs, then you're out of luck. And trust me, for the past 10 months while I've been here, I've missed that steak bake being back in Birmingham. But on the other hand, I will say some of the most favourite places I go and eat and that I would recommend to go and eat are places such as the Leung Son Fan. Now you're probably thinking, Jake, what on earth is a Leung Son Fan? Now, it became very popular during the pandemic for cheap food, easy food, stuff you can just go and grab, takes a couple minutes to get, and it's very cheap. Now we're just coming up to a Leung Son Fan restaurant now actually, and I'll show you what you can get there. But essentially what it is, it's a big container of rice, and you pick 2 dishes to go on top, and it costs around about 25 to 35 Hong Kong dollars, which is about £2.50 to £3.50. As you can see, you got a bunch of options available here. I've got the Golo Yacht, which is sweet and sour chicken, some shrimp, a lot of different dishes you can pick. Now the other option you can have here in Hong Kong is what is known as a tan tan teng. Now forgive me for my pronunciation, I know for sure that that isn't correct, but the tan tan teng is essentially like a local style Hong Kong cafe that serves things such as macaroni, you can get French toast, noodles, fried pork, essentially set meals with a drink that can cost around about 50 to 60 Hong Kong dollars, and that's around about £5–6 in the UK. Now this is a Tan Tan Teng restaurant that I was telling you about before, and these guys kind of have lunch options. You know, you can get some sandwiches, dropping all the menus, you can get like combo meals, macaroni, sandwiches, toast, you know, some really kind of staple dishes, some rice, like baked rice, buns. So this is kind of what you're going to expect at these Tan Tan Tengs. But yeah, they're really nice and really tasty. Those 2 options are the main places you can go and eat that are quite cheap in Hong Kong. The Leung Son Fan is good for if you're taking away to take back home, and then the Tan Tan Teng is more going to sit in with your friends and enjoy a nice meal. But yeah, that's just a bit about what you can eat in Hong Kong. I mean, of course, you've got places like Dobro's Pizza, where you can get more kind of Western dishes, and you've got more kind of up-end restaurants as well. But if you're looking for the real budget options, those are the places you're going to be eating. Of course, you've got street food as well, such as barbecue, octopus tentacles, the famous stinky tofu, which I'll tell you now absolutely reeks, and I have not tried it if anyone asks. But you've of course got these other options, but those two are the main staples for me, is the tan tan teng and the leung song fan. But yeah, that's a bit about kind of the food you can eat here. And of course, if you want to cook as well, you can do, but like I say, I think be very careful with your expectations of what you'll actually get in a kitchen in Hong Kong if you are living in those flat shares or subdivided units. At the end of the day, you're not going to be able to cook big extravagant meals like you might cook at home. And the other thing as well is that groceries can be quite expensive here. I mean, put it this way, you're looking to pay around about 60 to 70 Hong Kong dollars for fillets of chicken, which would cost half as much back home. Now, the last thing I want to talk about before we go and actually check out my place, because I want to take you guys to have a look at my actual place in Hong Kong, is what else is around in the city. Like if I'm living in Jordan or let's say Sham Shai Po, what else can I expect to see? Now, some of you might have seen my video in Temple Street Market, but that night market is actually located here in Jordan, and it's one of the brilliant places to go visit on a night with your friends, because it's full of brilliant deals. There's street food, and there's also people performing there. I mean, there's also kind of some more adult content there, but we won't go too much into that in this video. And just to clarify, that's not something that I've indulged in while I've been here in Hong Kong, let me tell you that now. But yeah, you've got the Temple Street night market, which is definitely something to go and do. I mean, you've also got you know, you can go play pool, you can go and do things like you do back home. I mean, there's definitely that East meets West here in the city, and there are activities that you can go and do that are both, you know, Hong Kong themed and also Western themed. So there's a lot to go and do around this kind of area of the city. So I wouldn't kind of worry too much about that. There's always going to be something that you can do while in Hong Kong, and especially in Jordan, because I mean, I leave my house and turn around the corner, and then yeah, I've got the market, I've got all these food places I can go visit, the MTR as well. The transport options are just around the corner. I mean, I suppose that's probably something else to talk about as well, is the transport options. It's how do you get around the city? Well, a little bit like London in England, you've got this amazing underground system called the MTR. Now, it's a little bit more reliable than the tube, to be honest, because it comes more frequently and it's hardly ever late. So there's not really too much to fret about when it comes to transport, because the MTR system is everywhere, absolutely everywhere. You're probably never more than 10 minutes away from a station, and they are rapidly fast, and also they are so cheap. But yeah, that's kind of just really what it's like to live around here, what your options are. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's a very busy city. There's a lot of people around, a lot of cars. And I think the thing you've got to kind of keep in mind is if you come to Hong Kong, is that it's very densely populated. There's a lot of people, and it's always very busy, and very hot in the summer. But look, it's definitely somewhere to come and visit. I mean, if you've never been to Asia before, and you want to go and branch out away from Europe or away from North America, then Hong Kong's definitely a good starting place, because you've got that East meets West kind of experience that it'll give you by coming here. Right, so we're just coming up to my building now, which is on Wusung Street in Jordan, literally round the corner from the night market we went to a couple videos ago. Now, this is my building here, just here, and of course across the road is the very family-friendly adult sex store, which, put it this way, my window is there, and that is my view from the window. But I mean, I don't mind. It's definitely something that's different from what I would normally see in the beautiful rural areas of England. Yeah, here's the kind of what you'd expect to be walking into when heading home in Hong Kong. The elevator's here. Let's get on there. Here we go. This is my door, just away from the elevator. I've got a keypad entry with an electronic card. So here, this is what I was talking about earlier, with it being subdivided. So you come into the flat and then you have 3 units, and this one's mine here. Got some communal cleaning stuff there, but that's kind of the extent to the communal thing in a subdivided flat. Now, here is my room. Now you're probably going to be a bit shocked, as this is quite small for an entire home in Hong Kong. Now, starting off, coming through the door, here you can see my suitcases as I am getting ready to go home. But the first thing you're confronted with is my desk, which is where I sit and edit all my videos. And of course we've got the beautiful alcoholic reserves that have kept me going through my time here. And then yeah, you can get yourself a double bed if you want. I mean, if you have the space. I mean, this is around about 120 to 130 square foot, this apartment. So yeah, it's not incredibly massive. But yeah, you're able to get a bed in. I mean, what I'd have before, it's all gone now, but I had a rail for my clothes, a bookshelf here to put things on, and then that's pretty much what you can kind of fit in here. I mean, unfortunately, I don't have a kitchen either, which is what I was saying earlier. I'd have a hot plate and a toaster oven there, but that's pretty much the extent to what you can kind of fit into these places. I mean, as well, don't worry, you do get a toilet. I'm very lucky, to be honest, because a lot of the toilets you'll see, and I'll show you now, is that some places will have literally the shower hanging over the toilet. So I mean, if you're into kind of having a poo and also washing yourself at the same time, I suppose it's quite efficient, then you know, you can do. But yeah, this is the bathroom. As you can see, I've got a separate toilet to my shower, which is amazing. I definitely recommend doing this, because I'll tell you now, as well, I've got friends who have got much smaller bathrooms, and it is a pain in the neck to have a shower or use a toilet with a dripping shower head over you while you're trying to enjoy your morning excretion. But yeah, this is the bathroom. I've got these nice lovely glass panes, so if I've got a friend over and of course I want a bit of private time, I can just press this button and this will turn on, and then I can put it back on if I want to pop the window open and want to say hello while doing my business. But I mean, of course I wouldn't be doing that because that'd be a bit strange. But yeah, that's the bathroom. I mean, I've got a mirror, I've got a sink, and of course that sink serves as my kitchen sink as well, because I don't have another sink. And of course the shower. I mean, I had to buy this myself from IKEA. That's my shower curtain. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, at the end of the day, like I say, you're not going to be getting much in Hong Kong for the amount that I pay, and that's because it is very expensive. I mean, the other options you can kind of, if you want to get it cheaper, is getting the no windows, the no elevator, and the smaller bathroom, which will set you down probably another £100 a month. But for me, I think the natural light and the bigger toilet and the elevator was definitely what kind of drew me to this place. And if you're wondering how much do I pay here, I pay £550 a month, and that's including bills as well. I mean, obviously at the moment there's an energy crisis in the UK, but bills aren't that high in Hong Kong at the moment anyway. I mean, I think the bills a month are around about £20, $200. But yeah, that's what I pay altogether, £550. And yeah, it gets me a little modest place that I get to call home while I've been here. And don't get me wrong, if you sit here all the time, you do start to go mad. But I think, like I said earlier, the best thing about Hong Kong is you literally go outside the door and you are confronted with a plethora of different activities and places to eat. But yeah, let's have a look out the window, show you what my view is like here. As you can see, just a building, and of course there, the adult sex store, which will probably have to be blurred out in post. But yeah, not really much to see, to be honest, but at least you get a bit of natural light from the sky up there, and of course some fresh air should I need it. Now, the one final thing that is very important, and oh so important if you're looking for a place, make sure you have air conditioning. Now this is not even a thing in the UK. Air conditioning just isn't even a thing. And I mean, I didn't even realise that air conditioning was a thing until I went on holiday in France when I was around about 19. And I was wondering, what on earth is this? Yeah, what on earth is this? And yeah, if you don't know what air conditioning is, it's what's in your car. It basically blows cold air into a room so it gets cooler. Now, considering Hong Kong in the summer gets to around about 35 to 40 degrees Celsius, you're gonna want an air conditioner. So if you've got a place without an air conditioner and the landlord's sitting there telling you, look mate, this is pretty good price, this, have none of it, but like, mate, there's no air conditioner, I ain't staying here. But yeah, those are the kind of the things to look out for. And yeah, this is my place. There's not much to it. It's not massive at all, but yeah, like it's a modest little place to live. I mean, it's kept me going throughout my stay here in Hong Kong, and of course, at the end of the day, it's just a bed to stay in while you're out exploring the city. Right, anyway, before I end the video, I want to take you downstairs and kind of show you a little bit around the building and a little bit around where I live. So let's go and do that now. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thank you so much for watching. I need to get back in because it's absolutely boiling out here. So I'm gonna head back in, have a drink, and then chill out for a bit. But yeah, have a lovely day, guys. I'll see you next video and take care. Goodbye.